Well, CNN's Jim Acosta admitting the media is going to go easy on Joe Biden. He told The Atlantic, quote, "I don't think the press should be trying to whip up the Biden presidency and turn it into must-see TV in a contrived way," end quote. Boy, isn't that rich from him? That, of course, comes as a complete opposite of what Acosta did for the last 4 years. Watch this.
No, our news organization. Can you give us a chance? You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
I'm going to move on. David, go ahead.
The president's tone
Jim,
towards
I'm
the press.
finished. Thank you.
The president's tone towards the press obviously is not helpful.
What I'm asking you is,
the Statue of Liberty
Jim,
has always been
let me ask you a
beacon
question.
of hope to the world.
Jim,
for people to send
Jim, do you believe
people to this country?
Jim,
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
That's enough.
That tape could go on and on and on. Now, the media is about to go into hibernation for the next 4 years and take a nap, as they did with the Obama administration, in my opinion. Now, Jessica, why shouldn't the media be equally as aggressive against a Biden administration as a Trump administration? But we all know it's not even close, and Jim Acosta even admits out loud they're not going to do that.
Well, last time I checked, Jim Acosta doesn't speak for the White House press corps en masse. And Jim Acosta has a very special relationship with President Trump, as was just magnified by those clips that you showed. I imagine, though, that there are a lot of reporters who do have hard-hitting questions, and hopefully Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will be open to them. I have always been an advocate for that, from everything from policy positions to talking about Hunter Biden. I think it's important to put it all out there. But I think that we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the fact that President Trump continued to go back to outlets that were favorable to him. And when he actually sat down with tough interviewers, with Leslie Stahl or Chris Wallace, he was reduced almost to tears. He brought in big books of fake papers. With Chris Wallace, he was defending some IQ test that he took where he had to identify something as an elephant. And he said that it was like the toughest test in the world. That's not a man who likes to be pushed.
Yeah, and Joe Biden didn't even come on Fox News because he couldn't take the pressure. I mean,
Chris Wallace works for us.
Let Lawrence go.
To be fair, I think the press proved where they stood on many of the issues when they concealed the Hunter Biden story. It is true that the Justice Department didn't make an announcement, but it was leaked to them, and they decided not to report it. I don't think the American people want the press to pretend like they're unbiased, but they do expect them to be fair. I think a lot of the criticism of what we saw from a lot of the president was the fact that it seemed like the media despised his supporters. It is one thing to criticize the president and take him on. I don't like many of the politicians, which is why I don't go to their parties or anything like that. But the fact that they wouldn't cover the stories that matter to the audience, half of the country, I think showed a lot of where they stand. So, yes, there will be a return to the norm.
Lisa, we got to get your comments real quick.
Yeah, what kind of ice cream are you having, Joe? Those are the questions. Those are the questions that Joe Biden got along the campaign trail, and that's because we don't have a press corps anymore. The mainstream media are a bunch of left-wing partisan hacks, and the best thing about the past 4 years is that President Trump has gotten them to drop their cloak and show us the partisan hacks that they are. And I think it's so much healthier as a society for everyone to know where these people stand. They don't have the interests of the American people at heart. They have the interest of propagating left-wing propaganda while trying to hurt Republicans. And that's been on the full display for the past 4 years.
So
and at least
Dagan,
everyone's eyes are open.
Dagan, what's your view on this?
Is Jim Acosta so thick-witted and pumpkin-headed that he doesn't realize that Trump losing is the worst thing that could happen for his career? He's not good on TV. The only reason people would watch him is because folks hated maybe Trump as much as Jim Acosta hated Trump. The only thing that would make him less appealing on television if he talked like Christian Amanpour. As you perfectly well know, I'm a journalist and a reporter, and I followed the facts. And there have never been any issues in terms of corruption, as Christian Amanpour said about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden.
Yeah, listen, Donald Trump should have won awards for his openness and transparency and answering every question that's coming his way. And shame on Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris is even worse. They just don't answer anything, and they need to be asked hard questions. All right.